Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Altcoin Mentors YouTube channel. My name is Peter, and today I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin. We're going to do a technical analysis on where I think it's going to go in the near-term future, and also a important lesson on close and confirmation. So let's talk about this morning. So as it was in a small little range this morning, I tweeted out that that BTC looks like 8,300 to 8,400 is going to turn into support. That the upside is going to be to 8,600 to 8,680, and then the next target to that is 9,000, which is the 200 daily EMA. So as it was getting into that area, people started getting excited because then they think, oh, now it's going to automatically go into 9,000. No, is that everything goes into ranges, and to break out of a range, you need to actually close and confirm out of that range. So this is what I mean. Let's dig in a little bit deeper. Right? What I mean by that is that you can't have the wicks. The wicks don't really matter as much as people think they do. Sometimes people think about it because they're looking for like dojis, they're looking for all these other things. But for me, the body of the candles are more important. The wicks and the tails are, they can go in for confirmation, but they are not targets for where you want to go. So that's why even when I draw my support and resistance lines, I rarely like to draw them on a wick or a tail. Unless it's been hit a bunch of multiple times, but the body is where I'm going for. That's the meat of where the movement is going to be. So I said that the range is going to be 8,600 to 8,680. So I drew a yellow line over here at 8,680, and as you can see, it never closed above it. So that means it's still in a range between 8,600 and 8,680. So I think I was pretty right, because the lowest it's been since it went up to that point is 85.57. The high is 87.27, so it's been very choppy in this range. So in order for it to go to 9,000 first, it has to close above here and then confirm to the upside. And once it does, then I think it can go to 9,000 again, and then up to 9,400, which is our next major target to the upside. So if it fails to break above and it starts to break down below towards 8,400, then the next target is here at 8,050, which is a short-term support, and then 7,700 down below. So the 8,300 to 8,400 is a very important zone because it's been there for a long time. So I tweeted out this morning that this is the third time in the last week it's been there. But earlier this month, it was also there. It acted as support as it dropped down. And then in February, it acted as support and acted as support, then resistance, and then it turned into support again as it went back up. So we still have a long way to go to get back up to 11,008, which is our major target up past 9,400. But if it continues at this track, if it continues to go past 9,400, there's no reason for it not to get there. So if it continues on this track, but first it has to close and confirm above this. That's why you have to always be patient. You can't get too overly excited. So in this range here, if you're long from like 8,300 to 8,400, you could probably give yourself a little bit of a wider stop, below this 83 line over here. Keep it a smaller loss, or you can tighten it up. So one thing about that, I will do it in another lesson, is that the idea is that there is no middle path to trading. What I mean by that is that you either give yourself a wide margin of error, right, and give itself lots of room. So that means that your stop loss and your targets have to be very big. Or you have to keep it very tight. If you try to go the middle ground all the time, what ends up happening is you end up taking small loser after small loser after small loser. So the example of that, I'll tell you about the middle path, is that once you get to a, let's say you're up, let's say you got in at 83. Okay, right now you're up $300, so you're up above the 4-hour ATR of 252. Right. So at a minimum, if you wanted to, you can set set it as a stop loss, right, at that number, if you wanted to make a little bit of money, right below it. But if you don't do that, then what you have to do is you have to put your stop loss at your original, because there is no clear zone. Because anywhere between 252 and 96.50 is just range. So Bitcoin can travel in a wide range right, for a long time. So if you keep it tight, at least you'll guarantee some profits. If you keep it middle, then what's going to end up happening is that you might take a smaller loss or a smaller winner than you originally would have thought. So you have to pick one or the other, or give it lots of room, hoping that it'll get up to the 9,000 to 9,400 area. So I'll do the math for you in the future. Let me work out a spreadsheet for that, because over time, that's proven to be a big part of the equation for successful traders. Is that when you make a decision whether you want to trade and when you want to get out, because that's where the art, not the science of trading comes in, is that you have to either give it lots of room for range so that you can avoid the range to get you out, or you have to keep it tight because you think you can get back in at a better price. So I thank everyone for watching our videos. Thank you for all the tweets. I've been sick for the last few days. I feel much better today. I missed the video yesterday. But I thank all those people who wished me well and a speedy recovery. I'm sorry if this video is a little bit convoluted. It's my first day back. I'm still a little bit sick, but my voice is a little bit better today. I haven't been trading that much Bitcoin today. I've been focusing on the index futures and Forex because Bitcoin has been doing anything. It's been going pretty much sideways. So I made the right call at 8,300 to 8,400. What I did was I'm playing it tight because in a rangy type of period is that you have to be a grateful trader. Is that because if you look at the tweets that I said before, do it again. Right. The idea is that, here we go, right, is that the long-term trend is negative, medium-term is neutral, short-term is negative, and intraday is neutral. I mean, just by reading that, you can see that there's no solid direction. So when there's no solid direction, any type of money that you can make, right, whether it's 1% or 2%, you should be grateful for it, especially when it comes to trading. So I'll give a little anecdote for a friend of mine who now only trades Bitcoin. He used to trade stock futures, and he was doing pretty well with it. And when you're trading, stock options, when you're trading options, when you're trading stocks, you're not really looking to make a lot of money. You're trying to make like 2%, 3%, in a day. Like if you find a stock that has a 3% ATR, that's a big range. But so you look at something like Bitcoin, where Bitcoin has a 10% daily ATR. I mean, that's huge. Right, so what ended up happening with him is that he stopped trading the index, the stock options, because he was making so much money from Bitcoin. And he was trading Bitcoin from a year and a half ago, so he caught it at the very bottom, almost at the very bottom. He made a lot of money on the way up, 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 up. He was buying the dips. He was doing it right. And then over the last couple of months, he lost 30% of the money. Right, not because he didn't get out in time, because he did. He got out around 17,000, 18,000, but his mistake was that every time it went down, he kept on buying it back. And then he thought it would go back up because he was looking for the higher waves, the higher highs, higher lows. But the higher highs and the higher lows never came. And then so now he's been having a hard time because he's so used to, it's become a habit for him to make, 8, 10, 12% in a day. That now, when he has a profit of 1% or 2%, he doesn't take it because he wants to make a lot more. But those days are gone, at least for now. They might come back, right? But in days like this, if you can make anywhere from 3 to 6% in a day trading Bitcoin, that's great. If you swing trade Bitcoin, making anywhere from 10 to 20% over a week is also great. But it's harder and harder to do. The ranges are getting tighter and tighter and tighter. If you watch the video, I always change my ATRs. Because I don't go by a standard ATR, I have my own system of creating a daily ATR. Because what I do is I lop off the head and the bottom. So if you follow like Olympic sports at all, like for figure skating or for gymnastics, what they discovered is that when they had an average of the scores, things could go wrong. Because what happened is that if one country doesn't like another country, then the judge from the other country can give them a low score, and vice versa. If they love another country or if they're from their own home country, they give them a great score. So what they did was they decided to lop off the top score and the bottom score and then average out everything else. So if you can do that, right, with the ATRs, you can figure out a more reasonable range. And if you watch our videos almost every single day, you'll notice that the daily ATR used to be, when I started making this video in January, used to be at 1100, 1200. So now it's down 30%. The 4-hour ATR used to be in the 400s. The 1-hour ATR was always in the 150s. Now it's going lower and lower and lower. So what that tells me is that you can make money in trading Bitcoin, but you can't make as much money as you could before. Times have changed, and they may change back. But until that time comes, you have to be willing to take smaller profits. So I thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and follow us on Twitter and on Telegram as well. Thank you and have a great weekend.